Hello everyone, I'm Ramandeep. I'm working with Tia as Research Fellow. Here we are at Hansen Orchards with Ryan. So today we will be asking Ryan about our orchard renovation trials we are running here.
We started planting central leaders 3.5 by 1 in the late 90s, and we've been pretty much doing that up till about 3 or 4 years, or 5 or 6 years ago, when we've decided to trial some V-trellis. So I suppose the evolution of the central leader has went from 3.5 by 1, 2.5 metre tree, 40 tonne a hectare crops. Over the last 10 years, that same planting distances have gone from 2.5 metre trees to 4 metre trees, chasing tonnage. With that, the challenges with that is, yes, we got the tonnage, but we also got a higher cost of production, and also we found that it was becoming more dangerous for the workers and the pickers. So what our challenge was to keep the tonnage up, bring the canopy volume, the height down, but keep the canopy volume up. So as I said, about 5 or 6 years ago, we decided to trial some high density V-trellis.
Yep.
So we kept everything the same, 3.5 by 1, 3.5 by 0.9, and thought we would try and produce a 2-dimensional tree on a V. So what we did, we planted a 2-dimensional, a tree at 900 mil, and decided we'd bring 4 limbs up from that tree. Yep. So that, but then having a V-trellis, having a low tree, we could still get the canopy volume on a 1 or 2 step ladder. So that's where we are trying to get to, and it is working. Some of the challenges we're finding is filling the canopy volume, and not so much across the canopy, but we are having some challenges filling the height, and that probably stems from just transferring the same orchard practices from our old system. Same rootstocks on same varieties, same planting distances. So I suppose where we've got to now is we've realised that we probably do need to step up a couple of rootstocks to get that canopy volume filled. And I suppose where your trial's coming from, we also need to work out the correct distances down the row and in the row. So, you know, can we do a cordon system like this and only plant half the amount of trees? The real secret is filling that canopy quick. So that's our main goal.
We are trying here the different cordon systems, like particularly with different upright numbers, and we are trying to compare it with what you have already done, double V's per tree, and we are trying to push the boundaries. Like what your expectations from this work we are doing here, and like what questions you expected to be answered?
Yeah, so I suppose we do need to answer that question. How many uprights per hectare do we need? How close is too close? You know, we're obviously going to run into shading issues, we're going to run into blind wood, etc., etc. And also on the flip side, how wide can we have them apart and fill that space? At the moment we're obviously planting at 0.9, so each upright is at 450, which seems, on older trees, 5 or 6 year old trees, seems to be, it's quite dense at that distance. So we need to work out the quickest way to fill that canopy, whether it's closer together, just a single, or whether we need to spread them out and have more laterals coming off the side.
So Ryan, like as a part of Pips for Profit program, we are looking at a whole stack of different economic parameters to test as a part of orchard renovation as well. Like what are the important economic parameters for you?
I suppose if you're talking economics, going to the V-trellis is very economical to start with. Like the cost of production reduces dramatically, up with some of your major costs, thinning, harvest, pruning, it's probably 40% cheaper than the old traditional central leaders at 4 metres, 3.5 metres. As far as the PIPS program and economics, obviously a system like the cordon is really reducing establishment costs.
Yep.
Half the main cost of establishing an orchard are the trees. This system has half the amount of trees compared to the other just upright 4 litre upright system. So that is the main economic advantage.
Yep.
The disadvantage of this system compared to the other system is the high labour input cost after planting, so the establishment cost. We've got a lot of tree training, we've got a lot of uprights to make sure we get right, and all those things need to be done at the right time. Okay, so a system like this compared to a system with uprights, there's a higher risk of failure. So that is a real concern to us, that if we plant a block like this, don't get the training done on time, don't get it right, and it does fail, it's a major disaster. Whereas if you plant a 4 litre upright system, the risk of failure is very low.
So thanks, Ryan, for being here today, and thanks for hosting trials as a part of PIPS. So we really appreciate your cooperation and your continued support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you guys on site, and really looking forward to seeing what this system looks like in another 12 months.